Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to the English course channel with me, Erin. How was your day, guys? I hope you always great condition. Now, in this special day, I would like to explain more about adjective phrase focusing on the syntax of language aspect. So guys, based on preliminary research, it turned out that there are still some students got difficulties and confused in making adjective phrase. Some students made mistake on how to put adjective phrase in the sentences. And there are also some students didn't know how to construct adjective phrase because they forgot the formula how to make adjective phrase. The second problem of this research is the students are wrong in choosing word class in constructing adjective phrase. The example, she is very beautifully woman. It should be, she is very beautiful woman. The word beautifully is an adverb of manner, whereas the adjective phrase structure should be adjective as a main head and very as the pre-modifier of the adjective phrase. So guys, let's discuss together. Before we are continuing to learn more about adjective phrase, we must know what is syntax. Syntax is the set of rules used to combine words and morphemes to create sentences. For example, in some language adjective come before the noun and others after the noun. Some language use preposition and others use postpositions. In some, the verb is at the beginning of the sentence, in others at the end, and in others till it is somewhere at the middle. Let's focus on discussing adjective phrase, guys. What is an adjective phrase? An adjective phrase is the phrase that contains an adjective, but there is more to it than that. So, an adjective phrase is a phrase that acts as an adjective by describing noun. An adjective in an adjective phrase can appear at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence and can be used before or after the subject or object. Its position may be before or after the noun as an attributive to form a noun phrase or after a linking verb as a predicative. For example, extremely happy, grayish brown, beautifully painted, too spicy, not too far. Adjective phrases have two forms, namely attributive and predicative. What is the difference between attributive and predicative? For the first is attributive adjective. In simple terms, attributive can be said as an adjective that is generally located before a verb that has not been modified. How about the example of attributive adjective? The example is, I like very dark chocolate. Okay guys, for the second is predicative adjective. Predicative is the opposite of attributive. In simple terms, it is an adjective that generally comes after the verb being modified. How about the example of predicative adjective? The example is, Tommy is extremely smart. Before we proceed to the formulation and example question, we first describe the modifier, determiner, and intensifier. From it, usually by using three words. For the first is modifiers. The function of this word is to form an adverb. It can be placed before or after the adjective. The form itself can be prepositional or infinitive. Let's get straight to the example. Afraid of the sun. The underline is a modifier. Its function for the adjective phrase is in the form. For the second is determiners. Its function is to explain adjective in number, demonstrative, or belonging. For example, that stupid kid. The underline is the determiner. The last is intensifier. The function of this word is to emphasize something, can strengthen or reduce. For example, very beautiful. What is underlined is the intensifier. The phrases come in many different forms. Some incorporate comparative and superlative adjective, such as this example. We experience the decades' most destructive storm. They saw only the brightest star through their telescope. Compound adjectives are often part of adjective phrases too. The movie Short and Whitewash faced criticism for historians. The playlist was too slow-paced for the crowd that night. Adjective phrases can contain adverb. It was a deliciously sensational play. His hair, shockingly dyed pink, surprised his parents. The salesperson, who went abroad, took the rest of the week off. And they can incorporate preposition. The kids, like popcorn, were bouncing all over the trampoline. My grandmother from New York make a delicious egg cream. Sometimes, an adjective phrase is just a series of adjectives. My old, slow, guzzling minivan finally died. They took an intense, time-consuming physics course. So guys, look at these two sentences. For the first is, my grandfather was a wealthy man. For the second, my grandfather was a man of great wealth. What is the difference between two sentences? In sentence 1, the word wealthy modifies the noun man. It therefore does the work of an adjective. In sentence 2, the group of words of great wealth tell us what sort of a man my grandfather was. It qualifies the noun man just as an adjective does. Guys, let's practice together. For the instruction in each of the following sentences, replace the adjective in bold letter by an adjective phrase of the same meaning. For the first question is, the king wore a golden crown. The word golden modifies the noun crown. It therefore does the work of an adjective. It should be, the king wore a crown made of gold. For the second question, it is a white elephant. It should be, it was an elephant with a white skin. For the third, he lived in a stone house. It should be, he lived in a house built of stone. For the fourth question, there was an earthen pot on the table. It should be, there was a pot made of earth on the table. The last question is, she wore a diamond necklace. It should be, she wore a necklace made of diamond.